everybody asking, what happened to you, Heather? Why are you on crutches? Why are you limping? Why are you jumping around? Well, ladies and gentlemen, today I'm going to tell you why, the answer to all that. Also, I'm getting, why did you cut your hair? I don't like your bangs. Let me just tell you, I don't like my bangs either, but it's hair. It grows back. I'll tell you guys about that also. For right now, they're clipped up because they're just annoying the crap out of me right now. Let's just start off with my hair, because that one will be easier to talk about because it'll go super quick. Alright, cool. Sorry, my brows are gross. Oh, by the way, I don't have any makeup on because I'm going to do a makeup tutorial today for you guys also, so that was a wink if that didn't work out. I never can wink right, but whatever. Okay, why did I cut my hair? Honestly, I don't have a reason why I cut it. I was just so tired of it. It was really dead and disgusting, and you know, I just wanted something new. It was a new school year. I wanted something new. I wanted more layers, definitely. No matter what, I wanted layers, so I was gonna cut it anyways, no matter anything. You know, I wanted more layers because I wanted more volume, because my hair was just so thick and just like this is how it was all the time, just like ugh, you know, because it was so heavy and stuff like that. So I was gonna cut it regardless, you know, and I ended up just cutting it. As for the bangs, I did not want them that short at all. I told the lady that I wanted them to be side swept bangs, but I wanted them long enough to where I could still split them down the middle. Like, even if it was like to right here, you know, because I could do them side swept, because when you pull bangs over, they obviously get shorter. So if they were to like right here, and I would pull them over, that's not the side I pulled them on. Wait, what side do I put my bangs? This side. Okay. So if I was to pull them over, you know, they would at least go somewhat, you know, they might cover my eye just a little bit, but they would still kind of, you know, I'd be able to see. And then if I split them down the middle, they would look really cute still, because they were long and down the middle, and I could wear my hair down the middle. I can't do that now, however, because now I look like I have, like, a mullet that just looks ridiculous. It's ridiculous. So, that's that. The lady ended up cutting them way too short, so now we just have to wait until my hair grows. Alright. That's it. No more about this. As for where have I been and what's been going on with me, I'm going to tell you guys. I dislocated my hip. That's what I did. I didn't hurt my leg going down my stair or anything like that. I know I said it in a video that I hurt my leg, but that's because I was going down the stairs on my crutches and I hurt my leg again. So, I dislocated my hip. My right hip. I dislocated it. It was the most painful thing I've ever experienced. Sorry, I got a text message from my Nino. He's such, oh my gosh, I'm gonna kill you, Nino. He put wall 1, Heather 0, meaning point-wise. You guys will get it right now when I tell you the story. So, how did I dislocate my hip, you may ask? Well, funny little story. No, it's not that funny, actually. It's not funny. It hurt. But, I dislocated my hip because I crashed a go-kart. No, I'm not a poor driver. It's just this thing was going incredibly fast for me. I was really scared. Anyways. So, Carlos and I decided we wanted to go go-kart racing. So, we're like, yeah, we're going to go go-kart racing. So, we went to this place called Speed Street. I don't know if you guys have heard of it. It's on 67th and Bell, whatever, if you live in Arizona. We went there, and, yeah, it was really empty. I guess you're not supposed to go on Fridays, because Fridays are not the days you go, because they don't have any sales or anything. So, anyways, we were getting ready to go in there. We had to put on helmets and all this good stuff. And, you know, it should have been a sign, maybe a little sign, because he had to go through 4 carts before I can get into 1, because he's like, okay, how about you take number 6? He's like, Roach, take number 6, because we picked driver name. Don't ask why I'm Roach. Carlos's great idea to call me Roach. They're like, pick your driver name, and then Carlos was like, Speedy, and I was like, I need a driver name, and he's like, Roach, and I was like, Roach, what the hell, but whatever. Not even, you know, doesn't have anything to do with, like, the point of this story, but whatever, I thought I'd tell you guys. So they're like, Roach, take number 6. So I got in there, it wasn't working, so then I had to go through like 3 other carts, and I finally found one that worked for me, so I was like, okay. Thing is, I'm short, so like I was touching the pedals, but it just didn't seem like I was, I don't know, safely touching the pedals. It felt like, okay, if this was my foot, like this is how much of my foot was touching it. It's not like I was like this, you know, like gas, stop, gas, you know. Like it was like I was barely touching it kind of thing. So that should have been sign number 1. Oh, my hand hurts. What was I saying? Oh, sorry. And then, so we finally get in the carts, we get started, and we start going, and I'm like, wow, this is interesting, it's first lap, and, I'm going, and I'm kind of scared because it goes pretty fast, like, it really does go fast. If you hit that acceleration, you're gonna go really fast. So we started going, and I was going pretty fast, and I was, like, screaming around, like, every corner. That should have been, sign number 2 for me, because I was going, and, around every corner, I was like, ah! I was like screaming, not like that though, because that's like hideous. That's not my real scream. Well, my real scream's ugly too, but that's not my real one. Anywho, so I was screaming around the corners, and then finally, like, I was going, and then, like, Carlos was, like, already, like, overlapping me. I was all looking for him, and he was, like, already, like, going, ready to do his second lap, and so I was just like, hey, what the heck? So I started speeding him, and then he stopped and he waited for me, and then we were driving, and then, he went, and there was this, I don't know if you guys have ever been there, but the course has, like, this really sharp U-turn kind of thing. Like, you turn into a U, and it's, like, super sharp, and if you don't go on it right, you crash into walls. So anyways, I was going, and I was going pretty fast. Let me tell you, I know I was going fast. I could feel it. You could hear my motor. I was like, vroom, and so here comes the turn, and I can see that I'm not going to make the turn if I don't slow down. So I start to try to hit the brake, and I try to slow down, and I try to turn my cart at the same time, and I just don't make it. And so I end up actually crashing into the tire wall that they have there. And at first, I was, like, in shock. I was like, oh my god, because, like, it was just, like, a dunk, and, like, my helmet flew off. I, like, bit my lip. It wasn't, like, a horrible bite. It's not like my mouth was full of blood, but I was just, like, and I was like, oh. And then, like, my helmet's gone, and then I'm, like, I'm, like, in shock because I'm, like, whoa, I just hit the wall, and that hurt like hell. Like, I was in pain, but, when you're in, like, so much pain, you don't really show it first. Like, you're just, like, until your brain registers that you're in pain, you don't really show it. So that's how I was, and I was just, like, my little cart was just, like, doot, 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 and it got away from the wall. Because it hit, and it kind of, like, like, ricocheted and moved back. And then, I looked at my leg, and, like, really, guys, like, okay, hold on, let me just try to, like, reenact this for you. If this is your leg, okay, this is your leg, right? You're standing up straight. Let's say I'm sitting down. This is my leg, okay? This is how my leg looked. Can you guys see that? Like, I don't know how I'm going to do this for you guys. Okay, so my leg's still straight, but from my knee down, it's going towards the right. That's actually the left for you guys, but it's the right for me. So, okay, we'll just pretend like it's this way, okay? That way you guys can see it. So my leg was going to the right. Straight from we'll say this is my thigh down to my knee, it was straight. And my knee down, it was going to the right. And I was like, that's when I started freaking out, because I was like, oh my god, did I break my leg? Like, I was freaking out. And so then I was like, like, Carlos was like, are you okay? And I was like, I can't move my leg. And then the guy that worked there, he came running to me, and then he was just like, can you move it? And I was like, no, I think I broke my leg. He's like, you didn't break your leg. I was like, yes, I did. I think I broke my leg. And then he's all, no, the only time I've ever seen somebody break their leg is when it was, like, the bone was popping out, and there was blood everywhere. And I was just like, okay, well, my leg hurts really bad. And then, so then, I was like, I looked at it, and it was, like, really, like, it was literally, like, this way, you guys. It was so gross. I was like, oh, that's what was making it worse, too. So then I was just like, ow, it hurts, and I was, like, cussing, excuse me, but I was like, beep, beep, mother, beep, it hurts. And then, Carlos carried me out of the cart, and then he took me into the little arcade area that had seats, I can't talk, seats, and I sat down, and it hurt so bad when he picked me out of that cart. When he picked me up out of that cart, I was like, oh my god, that hurts. And he's like, what hurts? And I was like, my butt. And I was like, it hurts, like, my butt. Like, I thought my butt was hurting. And I was like, maybe it's just from, like, the impact, And so then, I'm sitting in the chair, and, like, it's hurting me to sit, and I can't, like, my leg is, like, shaking. Like, it's starting to shake, right? And I'm just, like, terrified, because I'm like, dude, what's wrong with my leg? And so I'm, like, all freaking out now, and I'm just like, oh my god, what if it's broken? And Carlos was like, it's not broken. I was like, no, what if it's broken? But I wasn't crying yet. I was just kind of like, F, 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 F. Beep, beep, mother, beep, beep, beep. And then the guy's like, do you want to call 911? And I was like, yes, got it. So then he calls them, and then when the paramedics get there, they're like, are these your favorite pants? And I was like, yes, why? And they're like, we're gonna have to cut them. And I was like, no, and then that's when I started getting a little teary-eyed. I know that's so freaking, like, superficial and, like, materialistic, but I was so sad when they told me they had to cut my pants. I was like, no, don't cut my pants. But they're like, okay, well, do you want to try to take them off? So I started trying to take them off, and I was like, oh! So I was like, just cut them. Just cut them. So they cut my favorite pants. Do you guys want to see them? Behold, my favorite pants. My $6 jeans from Forever 21. This is them now. This is what they've become. I was so sad, you guys. So sad. This is what is now left of my jeans. And you guys want to see my shoe? These are my favorite little white shoes. Bad day to wear white shoes. Okay. Hi, I still look okay, only a little bit of dirt. Ah, I crashed into a wall. But anywho, I'm gonna scrub that. It will come clean. I will make sure of it. Ow! Ow! Sorry. My hands are really sore. That's why I'm not doing the tutorial yet, because freaking these crutches, I swear, having to hold up all my body weight and stuff. I have bruises right here in my armpits. My freaking hands hurt. It's horrible. I'm just gonna complain because it's so horrible. But anyways, what was I saying? Oh, okay, so then they had to cut my pants, and then I was just like, man, those are my favorite pants. I was so sad. And then they started feeling my leg, and then they were just like, you know, they're like, where does it hurt? And then, like, when they were touching my, like, I could feel them touching my foot, so I was like, okay, maybe it's not broken, maybe. So I could feel them touching my foot, and then they moved their way up, and I could feel them touching my leg, you know, like my lower leg. Once they got to my knee, I was like, ow. And they're like, it hurts in the knee. I was like, yes, it hurts. And they're like, a lot, and I was like, it hurts. And then they started touching my thigh, and I was like, ow. And then once I got towards, like, my butt, I was like, ow. You know, I was like, ow, that hurts. And then they're like, on a scale of 1 to 10, what's your pain? And I was like, 7.5. And then, like, they're like, we think you might have a fractured femur or a broken femur, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, no broken bones. I don't want broken bones. So I was like, I was all mad. And then they had to move me into the ambulance, and that hurt like hell, let me tell you. They lifted me up, you know, like a couple guys had to lift me up all different parts of my body. And once they set me down on that little rolling bed thing, I was like, because, you know, they're moving me around, and they don't know that my hip is dislocated yet. So every little hit on my, you know, butt or, like, where my hip is hurt like hell. So then I'm, you know, chilling on that little thing, and I'm just like, you know, I'm all sad. I'm just like, this is horrible. And I'm like, I'm so sorry, Carlos. I'm sorry. Because, you know, it was $50 for that crap, and we didn't even get to finish our first lap. $50. Freaking A, man. Anyways, so I'm like, I'm sorry, and he's like, no, it's not your fault. I'm sorry. And I was like, no, it's not your fault. And then, so then we get in the ambulance, right? And then, like, well, I'm in the ambulance, and then all the little paramedics are with me. And dude, let me tell you, the guy from the place totally lied to the ambulance man, or paramedic, totally lied, because I was not going 5 to 10 miles per hour. My helmet would not fly off if I was only going 5 to 10 miles per hour. Let me just tell you. But anywho, what was I saying? Oh, yeah. I get off track. So I'm in the ambulance now, and I was just trying to make, I don't know, I guess I was just trying to make the situation better, because I was just in so much pain. And then the scary thing is, because I was like freaking out, when they were like touching my leg, when they touched my thigh and stuff, the pain was just so unbearable. And you know, I don't know if you guys have ever had that feeling when the pain is just so unbearable, you feel like you're ready to pass out. Like, my ears started ringing, and things were starting to like it was starting to like fade, and I just felt so like groggy, and I was like, dude, I'm gonna pass out. And I was like, oh my god, I'm gonna pass out. And then, but I didn't. And then, like, I got in the ambulance, and then I was just, like, chilling in there, so I tried to make the situation better. I didn't want to feel my pain, so they start, like, you know, putting the IV, and they give me the oxygen and all that crap. And then, like, you know, I'm all like, don't you guys get some music up in here? And they're like, what? He's like, do you want to play elevator music for you, dear? And I was like, no. I was like, I want some 90s R&B. And then one of the older guys was like, oh, yeah, that's way after my time. And the other guy was like, he was like, wait, that's way before my time. And the other guy was like, you mean way after your time? And I started laughing, and I was like, you guys are some funny little ambulance men. And then, you know, they were, like, talking about putting the needles in, and then they're like, oh, he's like, what size needle did you use? And the guy was like, I used an 18. He's like, 20s are for girls. And he's like, oh, wait. And I was like, but I'm a thug, I can take it. And then, like, I was like, what's in my nose? Because I never had oxygen in my nose. So I was like, what is this cold air in my nose? And then the guy's like, that's your oxygen. And he's like, oh, and some metal thing. And he's like, oh, wait, that's just your nose ring. And I was like, but it looks cute, right? And he's like, I guess, you know, on girls. And I was like, but Tupac had one. And he's like, well, I guess if you're making that much money, you could do whatever you want. And I was like, yeah, you can. And so then we were just kind of, like, all joking around until we got to the emergency room. Then when we got to the emergency room, oh, man, all jokes stopped there, let me tell you. They started taking me out of the ambulance, and then I went to the emergency room, and they're like, you know, like, calling me a comedian and some little character, and they told the nurses and the doctors that I was a character and I was funny or whatever. And so then I was, like, chilling in the little bed inside the emergency room, and everything's like okay now, you know, and I'm just like, you know, I'm so sad, because I'm like, dude, I don't know what's wrong with me, you know. So then I start tearing up, and I'm just like, man, I hope I don't have anything broken. So I'm like laying there, you know, like, please don't let me have anything broken, please. And then I'm like, then they're like, what happened? And I told them, and they're like, oh my god. And they're like, that's so rare, you know. Or they didn't say that part yet, let me tell you. And then so I was like chilling there, and then they're like, okay, we have to go take x-rays now. And I was like, no. So then they take me to the x-ray place, and oh my goodness, you guys, x-rays. I wanted to kill myself. I wanted to just die, and I wanted to just be dead and not feel anything, because this was the most unbearable pain that I've ever had in my whole entire life. I have never, ever fractured, broken, sprained, dislocated anything, so I did not know what I was in for. And when they took me into that x-ray room and the doctor started trying to move my leg around, I was like, stop, it hurts! And I was screaming at like the top of my lungs and like cussing every cuss word in the book and like crying just hysterically, and I just wanted to die. And then they got the x-rays, and then they took me back to the room, and I was just like, that hurts so bad, you know, and they're like, well, we have good and bad news, and I'm all, okay, you know, what's the good news, what's the bad news, and then they're like, the bad news is you dislocated your hip, and I was like, so what the hell's the good news, and they're like, you didn't break any bones, and I was all, whoop-de-freaking-do, man, ugh, it was horrible, I was just like, but anyhow, so then they were like, don't worry, we're going to put you to sleep, and once we pop it back in, it's going to be like nothing even happened. So, you know, I took their word for it. I was like, yeah, it's going to be like nothing even happened. No. They put me to sleep. But you want to hear something embarrassing? Oh my goodness. Okay, so I was like really hungry. We went to the emergency room at like 4, and we didn't get out of there till like almost like, I don't even know what time it was at night. It was something at night. But anyways, so I was really hungry because I hadn't eaten since the morning, you know. And so I guess they said, the doctors told me that when I was asleep, you know, when they sedated me and I was all asleep, that I told them that I was a grubber and that I wanted mozzarella sticks and chicken tenders, which is kind of weird that they would even hear me say that. That means that I obviously had to say it because I love mozzarella sticks and chicken tenders, and nobody else, like, none of those doctors and nurses would know that, you know, so I must have been talking in my sleep, let me tell you. So it was kind of embarrassing, but I was like, whatever, that's cool, yeah, so that was that. They put me to sleep, they popped my bone back in, and then they're like, you know, here's your crutches, you're good to go. After I woke up, and I was like, yeah, I'm good now, you know. But the sad part is, now the reason why I just, oh my god, life, you guys, life, let me tell you, it just makes you go up and down on a freaking roller coaster. I've been so freaking, like, sad, and it's just not me. I'm not a sad person. So for those of you who are like, does anybody else notice that she's not being herself lately, or that she's not acting as happy as she used to, let me just tell you, I know, and I'm really, really sorry. It's not that I'm trying to be like a downer and be like, I'm gonna put my hair up in a ponytail like this and that's it, okay? No, it's not that. It's just, when you're in a situation like this, let me just tell you, okay, these bad boys, I'm on these for 5 more weeks. 5 more weeks, I'm not allowed to put any pressure on my right leg. 5 more weeks, I'm not allowed to walk. You know, like, I'm not even supposed to be walking, and I try to walk, but I don't try to put pressure on my right leg because I did it, and then I went to the orthopedic doctor, and he's all like, don't put any pressure on it because you can have problems later on in life, and you're going to have to get hip replacement. I'm just like, dude, what the hell? Why didn't anybody tell me this when I started trying to walk on my freaking right leg? Because I thought I was getting better. And I tried to walk on it, and I was like, yeah, I think I'm getting better. And then he's like, don't do that. And I was like, oh, shoot. So now I'm stuck on these freaking crutches for 5 more weeks, and it's just the most horrible thing ever. I'm not the type of person to be tied down, to be laying in bed all day, to be doing nothing with my life because I'm not supposed to. Like, who does that? Like, you can't tie me down. Know what I'm saying? But no, really, I have to. I have to get better, so it just kind of sucks because I have to go to work and I'm on crutches and it's hard for me to do things, and then I have to go to school and you have to walk to your classes, and let me tell you, some of my classes are just not right next to each other, let me tell you, and then the parking lots are far, and I'm just, you know, constantly, it's just too much for my body, and it's starting to hurt so bad, meaning like pains everywhere. My hands are hurting because, you know, they have to like get my weight and all that crap, so it just really sucks. So if I'm really sorry that if I'm not the happiest that I usually am in my videos, you know, I'm sorry if I seem a bit down or sad. It's because I am down and sad. You know, I'm tied down to these stupid crutches, and my freaking hip hurts. I can't walk right now. I live in a 2-story house, and I have to go up and down stairs, and I'm not supposed to, and it hurts so bad, and sometimes I trip and, you know, fall a little, which could make it even worse. I could pop my freaking hip back out. So, you know, if I'm not my happiest, I really do apologize. It's not that I'm trying to be, you know, somebody who's, you know, but that's just, you know, how it is right now. So that's basically what's been going down. That's my story of how I dislocated my hip. And I guess that's it. So look out for more tutorials. I'm going to be trying to get some out there. Also, school started, so I'm just not, I don't know, there's a lot of homework in college, let me tell you, so, but I'll talk about that in another video. So I hope you guys have a great day, and I will talk to you later. Bye, YouTube.